The modern world manifested itself in a more extreme way than anything ever seen before. It was based on speed, efficiency, and mass production. Existence was rationalized, but the result was it felt shallow. Life becomes fragmented. We live with uncertainty because we're just parts in a system that is mostly mysterious to us. Mass production had its own culture, mass culture. Modern art took off when artists felt art had to go deeper than that. When Picasso painted his first Cubist picture in 1907, Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, it was art deliberately breaking with traditions that had lasted since the Renaissance. The reason to go from the familiar to the radically unknown was to make art be an antidote to mass culture. Instead of standardized experience, you got individuality. Instead of slickness, quirky roughness, looseness. You got the world broken up and brought back together again, bizarrely. You got unpredictable shapes for unpredictable reality. This became the look that defined the age, everything out of joint. But it soon came under attack. In the early 1930s, a new political force arises, Nazism. Nazism says restless questioning is out now, total power is in. In 1939, Hitler put on an exhibition of modern art, only he called it Entartete Kunst, or degenerate art. In this show, uncertainty was viewed as a sickness that could be eradicated. It wasn't enough just to see the art, yet to be told how to see. Signs on the wall said, "The Jew is deformed." No wonder the art is deformed. Modern art attacked injustice in society. The Nazis said, blame injustice on art. Distortion appears in modern art to give new life to old forms. The Nazis say, distortion is impurity infecting civilization. Hitler's degenerate art show highlights in a peculiarly horrific, bizarre and sick way something that's been there all along with modern art. It's deliberate outsiderness, its refusal to be normal. Hitler said modern art's great crime was to refuse to show things as they really are. But things never really are anything. They're always perceived in a certain way. There is no normal in the way that Hitler meant. He's trying to make certainty exist in a world where it no longer ever really can. The feeling we live with in modern life is doubt. Nothing is pure, nothing lasts, and we can never be sure what we are. You think photos and movies show reality, but a photo is just grey shapes a few inches high. A movie is just projected light. Reality is always different jostling points of view colliding together. We are reassuring classical sweetness, and we are menacing primitive voodoo. Close the door on all that, say the Nazis. The Nazis had their own art. Hitler staged annual exhibitions of it. It was the radical present in the clothes of an imagined golden age. Teutonic giant superheroes leading fervent youthful patriots. Nazi families full of Aryan purity. Perfect Nordic womanhood full of fertility. And Hitler himself in medieval armour, ready to crush the unnormal. This battle of worlds is a battle between the difficult one we rarely have and an unrealistic, simplified one full of reassuring fantasies. It's a battle that took on international dimensions. At the Paris World's Fair in 1937, opposing powers competed with each other culturally. The German and Italian pavilions had fascist art, the Soviet pavilion propaganda art about the heroic workers, but the Spanish pavilion under the Republicans had this picture, Picasso's Guernica, commemorating the town in Spain that had just been destroyed by German bombers in collaboration with Spanish fascists. Guernica has become the icon of modern art's moral goodness. It's modern art against war. But if you look at its language, that fractured look, it's about something a bit more complicated than Nazis, I hate those guys.
The fractured look is about the nature of reality. A cry of pain is the headline statement of Guernica. But hang on, what it really is, what you're really looking at, is stuff drawn in a deliberately primitive way. Walls, light bulbs, faces, animals, done like anyone who did not possess very much skill could do, but somehow all brought together and made to work with this weird, ambiguous, warped space. It's an energy of design that makes it hold together. It's not because it's carefully realistic. Cubism fights anything recognizable or rounded. It's not about perfect smoothness. It says there's a different way to approach truth.
The difference between this and this is instinctively recognizing our newly modified human state here and feeling bombarded by the overhuman here, pressurized into beliefs that feel inhuman. Abstract shapes jostling against each other. Why even have anything real in there when modern civilization agrees that everything is relative? A further twist on art diagnosing the condition of modern life comes into our story: abstract art.
It's a type of art where surface appearances, the look of the world, is deliberately left behind. You are in an experiment where you're being asked to see beyond appearances, see beyond the illusions that art previously has always dealt with. Maybe there's a truth there. By its nature, an experiment is always uncertain. An abstract artist doesn't say, here, I already know the answer and this is the illustration to it. An abstract artist says, this is the experiment. What's it telling you?
Abstract art was deliberately open-ended. It obeyed only its own purely visual rules. The Swiss-German artist Paul Klee, one of the original creators of the abstract look in the 1910s, said that starting a painting was taking a line for a walk. He had no idea where the line might go.
Abstract signs dancing to their own rhythm. I think the title of this painting, Haven of Riches, is the riches of the artistic imagination. The problem is, how rich is it if you're not an artist? How do you get it? How do you get tuned into it when it's abstract? Suddenly the degenerate art problem, the Nazis saying the world is as it is and art must picture it that way, comes back. Is there a conspiracy of the sensitive against the rest? Is that what abstract art's abstract signs are really spelling out? The words ordinary people keep out.